going to talk a little bit about fire lighting procedures. This is just an electrical box that I've made out of Home Depot. It's just some switches, electric outlets. This is a plug that plugs into a extension cord that goes to like a truck battery. And at that point here, you're going to need a device like this. It's just all this is just a heavy duty, like an air conditioner cord with two clips for the batteries. And you go over here and you plug it in your battery like this. This is for electricity, but we're going to borrow it for 12 volts right now. And basically on your battery, you have a positive side and a negative side, just like you would be using a jump start on a battery. And you put your clips on there, and that gives you the ability to run an extension cord from here to wherever you're going. So let's say you're at the campsite and your truck's 100 feet away. You can take your extension cord and lay it along the grass while the boys aren't looking, and basically lay it around there, and you have all this done beforehand. Right. So you hook that up to your battery. You're just taking an extension cord, you plug that in there. All this is just taking your battery and moving it closer to where your campfire is. Okay, so let's go over here to where our campfire is, and we have this box sitting off to the side. Let's say a commander's sitting off the side 30 feet away. So you run your extension cord over here to this box, and you plug this in. And right now, you have, in this method here, you have 4 switches that are in the opposition and ability to ignite 4 things. Now, if you're just going to do a simple setup where you ignite just one fire, you could use something like this. Harbor Freight's got them about $7. Clip them onto your battery, one side of your igniter, and you do the same thing. This just makes it a little more handy. Okay, the device that I found that works really well is get 3 just regular matches, and they don't have to be strike anywhere matches, or they can just be any kind. Get your piece of floor wire, Walmart flower section, cut you off a piece about 12 inches long. Cut that off with a pair of, this is a painted steel wire, and these are 3 matches, and all you do is you leave a little bit on the end. You go around it about 3 times, and then you wrap and frap between the match heads. And that's really, it's just like you do in lashing. All you do is wrap and frap, and you can get it close. All that is the wires wrapped around the 3 match heads. It doesn't even have to be really all that neat. And I found this to be very successful. And then, taking through the year, you're going to be throwing away some old appliances, cheap cords, lamp cords. Just cut the cords of them off. You can buy the Walmart extension cords for 79 cents a piece, but I just buy the lamp cords and then I just save them. And basically all you're doing here is you're taking this thing, the little guy right here. If you want to, you can just wrap it around there like that and like this after you scored it. And if you have a good pair of dikes, it makes a little bit difference, but right now I'm just making busy stuff. All right, you can take this and go right around your wire, and like that. Now, these are just a crimp connector. Like I said, you can buy them at Lowe's. One goes in one side, one goes in the other side. There's 2 little cleats in there, and you mash them like that, and that puts your cleats on both sides of it. Now, theoretically, if everything's riding and I got voltage here, when I plug this thing in and we call for the igniting of the council fire, this one right here, electricity, I'm going to be applying 12 volts to these 2 wires. It's going to get hot, and then it's going to ignite the matches. Okay, so here's my cord. We do the countdown on igniting the fire, and we push it together, and there we have fire. Okay, and it works basically if you got new cords and everything's good. It'll work out just about every time. And don't touch the metal wire because it is hot after it's been heated up, so it can burn you as far as that goes. So treat it all like it's very hot. Okay, now let's do a recap through that real quick. One up here, and all that is just twist it around there and something like that. Now you put that in the top of your fire, top of your council fire. That sits over there. You take your cord, and this will burn up, so you don't really worry about it because it's a freebie anyway. And your bigger cord would generally be out here underneath the ground. So there's your council fire, and your cord set up here. And if you put a switch in between it, whenever they call for the fire, on on the count of 3, everybody yell, "Light that fire!" Now you guys are being a little bit weak on that. I think you can do better than that. And so everybody yells, "Light that fire!" So they light that fire, and then the third, no, everybody has to point at it and yell, "Light that fire!" And then when they point, the guy over here puts the 2 matches together and ignites the campfire. Okay, and that's an electrical way to ignite the campfire. All right, we're going to test out our fire lighting methods here. See if they go off. All right, the battery's hooked up. Switches it all off. Might come over here and take a look at this real quick. Okay, just before the council fire's ready to go, you hook this up to electricity, or to the 12-volt car. And then whenever you're ready to light your first one, like this little white one right here, we're going to light it first. All right. All right, now, that lit, and that's got green flames in it. And that's a chemical called boric acid, and it's called roach kill. And you find that in the section at Lowe's. And there's several things that cause a green flame, but you'll notice that the green flame's coming in. And this is called just regular roach powder. And it's basically a safe thing. There with the fuse.
Safe thing.
There's the safe thing. And that fuse is to give it a little pizzazz. We forgot about that. But there's a little bit of a fuse in there just to make it go pizzazz. Kind of a little extra deal, but you'll know you got your green flame. And that fuse is starting to get old, so I decided to take care of that. Okay, the next one is over here is table salt, and we got something very similar to it. It's got the fuse. This is just denatured alcohol that's inside there, and that is this brown cord that's running over here to switch number 1. So we're gonna have some little deal to get it to light up, and then there we go. There, she lights up. You just turn the power off to the switch. Pretty soon that's gonna light that little fuse up. And it's going to go off and go psst too. But that's salt, and that's going to give out a yellow flame when it gets going. So right then you got this flame, and then you can also have it to where it reaches up and it ignites, ignites another fire and that kind of a deal. So that's just a little showmanship. Then you come over to this side over here. This is granulated sugar on this one here. And this is in switch number 3. And we're just right above the alcohol, and we throw that one. Up she comes. She lights up.
The wire broke off.
Okay, that one didn't go so good.
Melted the wire.
Generally those will go off real well, but that would be your backup switch. And then in this case here, you would have to have somebody come out and sometimes make a comedian, then you come on to the next one. And it's that one right there. It's a black cord, and that's in switch number 2. And so she lights that, and that's just regular denatured alcohol, which will be in that kind of thing. Now it also has a little bit of fuse in there, so that thing should go like that as well. And this other, wait, little fuse go off here. This other looks, there we went. And all right. Fuses are all off. Let's see if we can get this thing to go ignite again. See if we can get her to go. And sometimes on that wire you get a little bit of a nick. Or if it's shorted out. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try that one. That's the black one. Okay, so there we go. And if you don't want to nick the wire, you can use just a little plastic $7 connector. And there went the fuse off on that one. So now you have a kind of a magical way of, magical way of lighting your fires. All these cords can be buried. You can go up there and just kind of run you a little tunnel. You can feed them with extension cords. And you can do different things. This could have been a torch on one side of the council fire. You could have lit 4 torches with that, and then also run one up to that. The cords, these are just cheap old lamp cords. You can just cut them off and get rid of them, and they're good to go, and that kind of thing. So you're not really out too much money. and the different flames are pretty cool. I was going to get some red flame for a red flame, and I still need to pick that up, but it's kind of fun to do it. These are little alcohol stoves that we come up with. Look at that. That one didn't even burn. It ignited off of the wire. So, but you know, it's kind of fun to do this kind of stuff and to get your fires going. Look at that one. So the wire did ignite it.
Guess it answered that question.
Yeah, the wire did ignite it. We can try that with just the wire and see what's going on. So, yeah, that was kind of an interesting thing. And these stoves are all just alcohol stoves. They're running off of denatured alcohol. And look at there. That one finally went too. Huh. That's really interesting.
That one still hadn't gone out.
Uh-huh.
That one's weird. It's got some blue and some green.
And that's the sugar that's in there. And the different those are household chemicals. That's sugar, salt, and this is just a boric acid. And then I was going to get some road flare and grind up a little road flare and put it in there. That's a potassium something other. Anyway, now this is another fire starting method that's kind of new to me. Basically, this is a Pot Perm Plus. It's a potassium permanganate, and it is basically a chemical they use in water filtration. And you will take a spoonful of that, put it right there like that, and then make you a little divot of stuff there. And then take this back. Now, on chemical fires, you need to make sure that it's done outside, that there's no one going to be breathing any of this. And what you're going to do is, if I use that spoon to stir this with, there's a possibility I could have a little bit of a fire. So I'm going to use two different spoons, and I'm going to pour this in. But basically, you pour it in right in there where that is, and 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006, 1007, 1008, 1009, 1010, 1011, 1012, 1013, 14, 1015, 1016, 17, 2018, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, 5, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. Okay, so it took 30 seconds for it to ignite. All right, so that would be your council fire, and you could play that, and you need to use these chemicals in the environment that you're going to go off. If it's really dewy or it's colder, it takes longer. So you would want to practice this just before you're doing the campfire in the same kind of elements, because a little bit of moisture change, a little bit of temperature change, and it will change how that affects. So on this one, it timed about 30 seconds, and so you would time this, and then it's kind of orchestrated like that. That's the setup. It runs off extension cord. You can do whatever you want to in your showmanship. You need to make it safe. Make sure that you try it before you do it. And after you've tried it and you know that you can do it safely, I threw the fuse, a little piece of fuse in there because it was getting old, and I thought, well, it's not reliable. And I've had it for years and years, so I thought we'd throw it in there for a little fun.